This episode of Ham Talk Live is brought to you by Tower Electronics. For connectors, cables, and more, call 920-435-2973 or visit pl-259.com. And by ICOM. Heard it, worked it, logged it. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information about ICOM radios.
It's Ham Radio.
Hello, everyone. It's time for Ham Talk Live, episode number 298, Youth on the Air Camp 2022, recorded on June 6, 2022. I'm your host, Neil Rapp, WB9VPG. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Ham Talk Live. Tonight, we're joined by Adam Johnson, KD9KIS. And last time here on the show, we were live at the Dayton Hamvention. If you missed that, you can listen anytime over at hamtalklive.com or on your favorite podcast app or on YouTube. And you can catch the rebroadcasts of Ham Talk Live over on WTWW. That's 5085 AM. Saturday afternoons, about 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time is when they run that. So make sure you check that out. And I'll be back with Adam right after this word from Tower Electronics, right here on Ham Talk Live.
Hey, honey, have you seen the PL259s anywhere?
No, I haven't. Come on, kids, let's go. There's just one place to go for all of your connector needs.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
A giant warehouse of connectors and adapters for every occasion. Thousands to choose from in every shape, size, and color. And they have antennas, soldering supplies, cables, meters, and more. Where do you go if you want to buy a connector at a fraction of retail cost?
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
And this weekend only, take advantage of our special liquidation sale. Buy 9 solder type PL259s, get the 10th one for just $1 penny. They make great Christmas presents. And what better way to say I love you than with the gift of a PL259?
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
I'm Scott, KB9AMM of Tower Electronics. I like the PL259 connector so much, I bought the company.
Tower Electronics, coming to a Hamfest near you, or online at pl-259.com. And we're in the yellow pages under Amateur Radio Connectors.
My, wherever did you get that lovely PL259?
Tower Electronics, pl-259.com, or call 920-435-2973.
Do we sell PL259 connectors?
And the Tower Electronics Hamfest schedule, they will be in Green Bay, Wisconsin on June 4th, and Newberry, Michigan, June 11th, Monroe, Michigan, June 19th, and Oak Creek, Wisconsin, July 9th, which that's on the south side of Milwaukee, but you can visit them anytime at pl-259.com.
Right now, you could be sitting on a beach, sipping a drink with an umbrella in it, and enjoying the good life. But instead, you've decided to listen to Ham Talk Live. So we thank you. And now here's Neil Rapp with more of the show.
Welcome back to Ham Talk Live. Tonight, Adam Johnson, KD9KIS, joins us on the Orlando Amateur Radio Club and Hamcation Zoom line. Adam is a 21-year-old heavy equipment operator from Ellsworth, Wisconsin. He is the assistant director for Youth on the Air Camp 2022 here in the Americas, and Adam was a camper at Yoda Camp 2021. He's been a ham since 2018, so we're glad to have Adam with us today. All right, Adam. Well, we're just a few days away from doing this all again. It's Youth on the Air Camp for the Americas, and this is the 2022 edition. So this year we get to fix everything that we weren't happy about last year, but really that list was pretty short.
Right. Yeah. They're, well, at least for me as a camper last year, that I really didn't notice a whole lot of the errors. So, that's a good thing. And your guys' part is that if there weren't a lot of errors, at least you're able to cover them up pretty good. But, no, from what I've heard though, yeah, I think, no, I'm definitely super pumped for this year. Obviously coming in as more of a helper, assistant director this year more than anything, but it's going to be an awesome camp, and I'm really, really pumped for it again this year.
Now, let's talk a little bit about this, because you were one of the campers last year, and you kept saying, if there's anything I can do to help, if there's anything I can do to keep this going, let me know. And now you're the assistant director. So talk a little bit about your role in guiding the future of Yoda.
Yeah. So as you know, last year as I was at this camp, I was super excited for it, and I had one of the best times of my life at this camp. And I was telling Neil, hey, anytime anything I can do to help, let me know. And he's like, all right, I'll contact you. And pretty quiet. And then here come January, I'm out plowing snow up here in Wisconsin. And you're like, hey, talking about Yoda here. What do you think about being potential assistant director? So long story short, I accepted that. So now I'm more part of the planning and getting things together and kind of trying to take things off of Neil's plate / learn from him. And it's trying to kind of going into the youth being in charge, which is where I come in a little bit, and trying to preserve this camp and make it have more youth be involved in ham radio and with these camps in the future. So it's definitely a different perspective than being a camper, but it's a different avenue, but still super exciting.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about the camp and when you can work us during the camp, and more about that in a little bit. But first, let's get into your responsibilities. One of your first major responsibilities was to start planning for 2023. So tell us how things are going for next year.
Yeah, so my big thing that my task was start getting ready for 2023. As some of you may know or now will know, that we're hoping to change locations every year, every couple of years, for where this camp is held at. So I was put on the responsibility to come up with a plan wrote down things of what are main things that we absolutely kind of necessity need, bare minimum, and then put that together on a sheet so we were able to post that. And now we've been in the process of having people respond back to us of either different clubs or whatnot of what their proposal is for the future for a potential camp, so we can start to look through those and see if they meet our requirements, or we might go look at the actual location someday, or just kind of going along that. But our big thing for me so far has just been trying to gather that information of different people that are interested in hosting this camp for 2023.
Now, this has got to be done by, June 30th? Is that the deadline? Is that right?
Yes, I actually did have to double check but yeah, I do know that it was sometime in June. For the deadline to at least send, and the email's on there, my email's on there, of just at least tell us you have an interest, potential. You can either send us the whole 9 yards, or at least send me an email saying, hey, we're potentially interested. We'll give you more information here coming up. But at least let us know so we can keep you in our realm as we start to talk about 2023.
All right, so let's talk about some. We don't have to hit everything here, but Let's talk at least a little bit about what we're looking for in a potential Yoda campsite. What do they have to do? What do they not have to do in order to host one of these? And who should be looking to do this?
Yeah, so for the future camps, we are looking, there are a lot of different things to kind of look at and go through, but main thing, or some of the main points is that we're hoping to have, wherever this location is, that area can hold at least 30 campers or so, and I think we had it on there about 15 adults, give or take, at least minimum. A lot of the big areas of just having the camp of how we can hold this, and yeah, kind of lost my train of thought there for a second, but no, we're
looking at North, Central, and South America, right? It doesn't have to be in the U.S.
Correct. Yeah. No, it doesn't have to be in the U.S. And it just, the big thing is and have it in Region 2 is obviously our biggest number one thing. But besides that, it's just having the space, be able to have antennas, whether it can be on-site or hotels nearby, being able to house the campers and staff, and preferably any kind of attractions in the area. So if there's, like for us, we're going to Kings Island one day, and different things like that. So just different. Although we want to keep this very radio related, there's also, if there's any other attractions that can kind of show that cool has its own kind of spin to it, that kind of writes it to itself in the same way. So that's a few of the things, and yeah, definitely allow radios in the area, and have space for antennas, and some ham shacks, and just especially having a big room and even smaller rooms that we can kind of break out into different little sections or sessions and talk away like that.
Well, that's what we're looking for, and so if you have a group that's interested in doing that, what should they do, and how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so if you have a group that is interested at all, by June 30th of this year, so less than a month away, just give me an email at adam@youthontheair.org. Again, that's adam@youthontheair.org. And you can either just send me a small little document email saying, here, this is some of the few things that we have. Otherwise, just at least send me a bare minimum just saying, we're interested, or working on getting the information typed up here and sent to you. But no, that's the big thing. And then also at least have it possible that we can have high-speed internet access at this location for a few of our different things. And also up there, it's just another kind of potential thing is that if there's any kind of good eating restaurants that are kind of known to the area, like down in Ohio for this year and last year, we're having some Skyline chili, which is a big chili deal down in the Ohio area. Wisconsin, not at all. So that was a cool thing for me. So any kind of cool different food, and like I said, just attractions and just different things. We have a whole packet you can get on our website at youthontheair.org showing different things that we're looking for. Otherwise, like I said, just shoot me an email and that's at adam@youthontheair.org, and I'd be more than happy to talk to you and give you some more information.
Okay, well, yeah, let's go back to this year, because it's just a few days away from when this episode is going to be released. And yeah, we get some local flavors in there, the food. We do some of the famous Cincinnati places, but you mentioned the Skyline chili, which everybody seems to either love it or hate it, but on top of that chili, there's that Wisconsin cheddar cheese, and I know you're planning on supplying a lot of our cheese for the week, so you can tell everybody about the cheese curds.
Yeah, so you and I still have to talk about some final numbers for what we're thinking for cheese curds, but no, so where I'm from is Ellsworth, Wisconsin, and we're known for making Ellsworth cheese curds. You can usually find them in any grocery store nationwide. But the big difference is that these will be hot off the press, as in the cow probably isn't even milked yet right now for the cheese curds. But besides that, we have the store here in Ellsworth, and last year I brought some cheese curds just as a trial, just a few bags and hanging out at the hotel and stuff. Well, turns out that was a pretty big hit because they were gone by the end of the week for sure. And everybody was asking me to bring more cheese curds next year. And I think there were even a few different campers that were friends of mine by the end that they had me end up shipping them some cheese curds by the end of or throughout the year. So that was pretty cool. And so this year there's definitely going to be some cheese curds there. And, like I said, these will be fresh. And then what's also nice about these is that when they're in the clear bags like these, that means that there's no preservatives in them like nitrogen or anything like that you'd find in the store ones. So these will be fresh, and everybody loved them last year. But that also can be a thing of you either love cheese curds or you hate them or you think they're dumb. So you might fall in one of those three categories. But that should be good.
We're looking forward to that, and that's part of Yoda. The youngsters on the air is everybody's supposed to bring a dish, which it's not conducive for us because people travel a lot further, but everybody's supposed to bring a dish, that's kind of representative of your area. So we kind of took a spin on that and did a lot of Cincinnati stuff, but the cheese curds were a big hit. So we've got plenty of cheese coming. However much Adam can get in a carry-on, we're good to go. So we'll have some experiences, of food as well. And one of the big things about Yoda is building this youth community and getting people physically together and do some team building. And yes, we're going to be learning. Yes, we're going to be on the air. A lot of people think, they're going to be on the air every moment of every day, every week. And it's like, no. We're not doing an in-state de-expedition. We're doing activities to build this social community among young hams so that they don't feel alone. And I'm sure you've got some stories from last year of things that, really hit home with that.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's where I say, especially when I came into this last year, like I've been into ham radio for a few years, but I've been a part of local club here back home here, but not really much for youth. So I was super excited for this camp, but at the same time I was also nervous because I was going to Ohio that I've never been to in my life to meet up with a bunch of people that I absolutely didn't know any of them. So I was excited, but also nervous at the same time, wondering if I would fit in or do I not know enough, even though I'm a ham, am I not too into it or kind of how it was going to go. But really by the end of the first day, but even a few days in, everybody just felt like family, and you found who you really connected with, but you really kind of connected with everybody. I mean, there was a variety of people that have their technician license but didn't really have much experience, all the way to the amateur extras that do a lot of contesting. So there was a big variety of who there were for people, and just the radio, learned a lot radio-wise, and that was super awesome. But just getting together as a whole youth community, as just there's a whole different part of ham radio is with the whole youth as well. And and kind of going back to the food a little bit of how you like the youngsters, they all bring a dish to pass or something. But it was kind of cool, like be sitting there back at the hotel or something, we're just kind of hanging out for a few minutes. And you talk, and we have kids from all over the U.S. I mean, East Coast, West Coast, down south, northern Midwest here. And you'd be talking, you'd kind of joke around about different, how everybody kind of talks a little different. And then it was kind of fun to sit there and talk about kind of different things that are different, like what there is for like for restaurants or this and that back home, or how radio is different, or how some might live in the cities and they have to deal with HOAs in order to set up an antenna versus being out in the country or stuff. So there was just by making these friends that you knew absolutely nobody on Sunday and were practically family by Friday, it was just a really cool experience. And to even still be in touch with them now and still talk to them now is still a cool thing.
Now, I know you couldn't make it to Hamvention this year, but let me tell you, seeing the kids at Hamvention, and there were many at Hamvention, but seeing the kids, walking around, there were, a couple of groups of them, and they were Yoda people. I mean, it was like, it was like a family reunion at Hamvention, and it was just so good to see that you've made friends and you get to see them again at something like Hamvention. You talk to each other online or on the radio, and kind of support each other's projects, and you can, toss ideas off of each other, and it just really makes me happy to see this community as it's growing. Yeah, no, although I wasn't at Hamvention this year, that really, really makes me excited to see that. Even though I was just a camper last year, I mean, just to hear that they're reconnecting, and even, like I said, I still stay in touch with quite a few of the campers and talk on the radio here and there, but I mean, just to make this connection of new friends, but also because you also have something in common of ham radio is just really cool. But I think this, a lot of it wouldn't be possible without quite a few people, but I know you, Neil, you put a lot of this, put a lot of work and effort into it, so I'm sure it is very awesome to see to you that it's definitely paying off of, there's a good chance of this working, no matter what. There'll always be some youth together because of this camp and the Youth on the Air camp. But I think there's many more in the future, and you and everyone else who's been a part of it have done a very awesome job. Well, thank you very much, and we're looking forward to seeing, as you all take over more of the responsibilities, what you all have in mind, because I think that's important that we keep that camper focused mentality on everything. So that'll be great to see. All right. Well, it's time for a break, but when we come back, we'll talk some more with Adam Johnson, KD9KIS, about Youth on the Air Camp coming up right after this word from ICOM America right here on Ham Talk Live. Be a Field Day leader with ICOM. Field Day is ham radio's most popular event, and it's just around the corner. On June 26th and 27th, more than 40,000 North American hams come together to operate remotely. Connect with nature, connect with friends. With a powerful and high-quality ICOM base station, easily cut through the pileups to get that contesting edge. Our popular IC705 portable, IC7300, and IC7610 SDR transceivers are the clear choice for DXers and contesters across the globe. The IC705 is the perfect transceiver for hams who enjoy both the great indoors and outdoors on field day. It's the perfect contesting companion. This base station provides features and functionality at the tip of your fingers in a portable package covering HF 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters, and weighs in at just under 2 pounds. It has a 4.3-inch color touchscreen with live band scope and waterfall, 5 watts with a battery, 10 watts with a power supply. It has sideband, CW, AM, FM, and full D-Star functions, Bluetooth, wireless LAN, micro SD card slot, micro USB connector, integrated GPS, and a speaker mic come standard. New accessories are now available: the MBF 705 desktop stand and the AH 705 optional automatic antenna tuner that covers 1.8 megahertz to 50 megahertz bands with a 30 meter or longer wire antenna. The IC7300 is a high-performance, innovative HF transceiver with a compact design that will far exceed your expectations. This innovative HF transceiver digitizes RF before various receiver stages, reducing the generated inherent noise in different IF stages. This is the radio that changed the way entry-level HF is designed. With RF direct sampling, 15 discrete bandpass filters, the large color touchscreen, spectrum scope, and SD card slot. The real HF fun starts here. The IC7610 is the SDR every ham wants. This high-performance SDR has the ability to pick out faint signals in the presence of stronger adjacent ones. The IC7610 by ICOM is a direct sampling, software-defined radio that's changed the world's definition of an SDR transceiver. It has 110 dB RMDR, dual Digicel, independent dual receivers, and an RF direct sampling system. Visit ICOMAmerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios.
You're listening to Ham Talk Live, the #1 podcast amongst the podcasts with the words ham, talk, and live in the title. Here's your host, Neil Rapp.
Welcome back to Ham Talk Live. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And before we get to the joke of the week and part 2 of our interview with Adam Johnson, KD9KIS, want to give a shout out to the Spurious Emissions Band. They were performing at Dayton Hamvention, and I unfortunately could not be there in person, but was watching the stream and did a little dedication for a song that you may have heard on this program. So I was glad to see the Baofeng song came back into the set for Hamvention 2022. So shout out to the Spurious Emissions. Glad you got the band back together again. All right. Well, before we get back to Adam, it's time for the joke of the week.
Now it's time for the Ham Talk Live Ham Radio Joke of the Week, the part of the show where Rick tells us a ham radio joke. The Ham Talk Live Ham Radio Joke of the Week is brought to you by QRM Labs. Now, here's Rick Garrett in 9 GSU with today's Ham Talk Live Joke of the Week.
I was having issues with the computer in my shack, so I took it apart, and there was a little man in overalls living inside of it. Turns out, I had a farmer in the Dell.
This has been the Ham Talk Live Ham Radio Joke of the Week with Rick Garrett in 9 GSU. Tune in again next week for another joke from Rick.
And we're back here on Ham Talk Live with Adam Johnson, KD9KIS, the Assistant Director of the Youth on the Air Camp for the Americas, which is located within IARU Region 2. And, a lot of people out there listening are not going to be able to come to camp. It's really funny because I get all these adults saying, "Ooh, can I be a camper? I want to do all this stuff." And it's like, yeah, no, we're trying to stick to 15 to 25 year olds right now. And we are working on a program for younger kids because we have a ton of younger hams. We have a ton of hams less than 15 years old around. And so we're working on a long weekend with a parent kind of thing. As Adam takes over more of the responsibilities for me, I'm going to start kind of shifting toward those responsibilities to get that running. But let's focus here on the camp, which is just in a few days. Now, people listen to this at different times, so we'll give the dates and everything. But the special event call is Whiskey 8 Yankee, W8Y, and we'll be operating from the National Voice of America Museum of Broadcasting in Westchester, Ohio, which is the northern suburbs of Cincinnati. And if you ever drove down I-75, years and years ago, and saw the huge antenna farm, that's where we are. We're on the grounds of the old Voice of America, relay station there. The antennas are gone. It's all soccer parks now and stuff, but the building is still there, and that's where we will be. So, one of the things that we do need for people to do that are listening is to call us. Part of the program is learning how to deal with pileups. And so if we don't have pileups to work, we're not going to be able to practice very well. So, Adam, tell people how they can work W8Y during the camp.
Yeah, so as Neil just said, we're going to be Whiskey 8 Yankee, W8Y as our call sign for this camp. And I'm going to give you a few of the times that we're for sure going to be on the air, but I can guarantee you that's not going to be the only times that we're on the air. So as far as the for sure times, that on HF, we're going to be on Monday, June 13th, between 1800 Zulu and 0300 Zulu. And that is going to be on, you're just going to have to hunt and peck for us a little bit, but any of the bands that are open, search away. I couldn't tell you if it's going to be on 40 meters, 20 meters, or 6 meters. You never know what's going to be open. We have access to, I think, just about every band, at least below 80. So that's going to be super fun there. And as Tuesday rolls around, we're going to be on Earth, Moon, Earth Bounce on our EME between 01 Zulu and 03 Zulu. So if you're into the Earth, Moon, Earth or not, maybe give it a shot and see if you can find us on there. And for me, I've never done EME, so I'm super excited to be a part of that and learn that a little bit. And then we're also going to be on
when we say
satellite.
Tuesday, let me clarify here, because we get into this whole UTC versus Eastern Daylight Time. By Tuesday, it's really Monday night, but it's UTC time. So Monday night, and it's 0100 Zulu to 0300 Zulu, which technically is Tuesday in UTC. So just wanted to clarify that.
All right. Yeah, thanks for that clarification, Neil. And then in satellites, we dabbled in those a little bit last year, and we're going to be on that, mostly FM satellites, on Thursday, June 16th, and Friday, June 17th, between 1400 Zulu and 1700 Zulu. So if you're into satellites or not, like I said, give it a shot and see if you can find us on the FM satellites.
Now, outside of those times, like you said, it could be anytime, anywhere, but tell us a little bit about the two different shacks that will be available at the camp.
Yeah, so these shacks are definitely something different, that's for sure. We the main shack is going to be at the VOA, Voice of America Museum, where we are having a lot of the day activities at, and it's this huge room, and it's a huge shack, and there is, I want to say, a minimum of 3, if not 4 plus radios, separate radios in that shack. So it is, you'll have to look at some of the pictures from last year, or even coming up here next week, and it's a whole different scenario of shack. We have antennas like you can imagine, and whole different variety there, and we'll all be on different bands for the different radios for the people that are active on there. And then for the other shack that we'll have going, there will be a shack back at the hotel there, which, correct me if I'm wrong, Neil, but I believe we will have one active antenna for sure at the hotel there. And then, so that's really cool to be actually operating fully from a hotel room. And then also, if I'm right, there's going to be a remote station that is going to be a remote antenna back to the VOA.
That is correct. Yeah, we'll have an ICOM 7610 back at the museum that will be hooked up, so we can remote into that from wherever we are. So we can always get access to that, and then we'll have we've got another 7610, and then we've got some ICOM 7300s that'll be taking up all the other spots. I'm not sure which one we're going to put at the hotel just yet, but but we'll have one of the two there with an antenna on the roof. So they're working on that. That's going up on Saturday.
Yeah, and that's super awesome. And we have a lot of people that are very knowledgeable about ham radio and these radios. But we're actually so lucky that with these ICOM radios, we'll have our own ICOM guy as well. So if we have issues or questions, we have somebody to definitely resort to ask those questions.
And I was working on the QRZ.com page today and wanted to mention, because I keep getting all these QSL cards, that don't send QSL cards to the museum or to me. Our QSL manager is W0AAE, and we've got that plastered all over the Whiskey 8 Yankee QRZ page, but he handles all of our QSLs. So make sure you send those according to the instructions on the website there. It's W0AAE. And we just got our QSL cards not long ago, and I still haven't seen them yet, but I hear they're pretty cool looking.
Yeah, I actually got my QSL card from the Whiskey 8 Yankee here a month or two ago, and they are definitely really cool QSL cards. So if Neil, you'll have to try and get your hands on one. They are very cool.
Yeah, they should be in my mailbox any day. Case mailed them out to everybody except me. So, because I was getting like a whole box of them. So, mine was separate. So I haven't seen them yet, but from the pictures, they look really, really cool. So, it's one of those foldable cards and shows a lot of things that we did at camp. So. You can do that. We will do that again, for this year. Now, besides, working in the shack at night, maybe early in the morning, at the hotel, and then, any free time that is available, during the day at the museum, people can get on. But also we have parts of this live stream. So talk a little bit about the live stream on YouTube.
Yeah. So as Neil was mentioning, definitely I'll look up our YouTube channel for Youth on the Air, and you will be able to see our opening. At minimum, that we will have the opening ceremony, which is this Sunday, June 12th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and then we'll have the closing ceremony on Friday, June 17th, which is a week from this Friday, at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And those are some really cool videos, because those are live videos showing our opening and closing ceremonies as we're bringing the campers in and closing down our time with them. But then also we will, same as last year, we're going to have some daily highlight videos of showing what we did that day before, videos and pictures and some of the laughs, I'm sure. So if you didn't see any of our highlight videos last year, definitely check out our YouTube channel, and you can find those last year and just see some of the fun and exciting and goofy times we had last year. But the YouTube channel, that is a pretty big deal for us, and we have some people that put in a lot of time and effort to really show some of the fun and eventful times we were having at camp.
All right, so be sure to check that out. It's Youth on the Air on YouTube, or there's a link off of the website, youthontheair.org. If you go to the social links there, there'll be one for YouTube, and we'll have Twitter and Instagram going, and maybe a little Facebook, who knows. But we'll be very visible next week, so make sure you check that out. So that's how you can help us is with all of the pileups and getting on the air and giving these kids some cues. So Adam, it's been a lot of fun to get you involved here, and I'm anxious to see your plans for the future with this. But right now we've got this year to worry about, and so we're gonna have a great time next week. So any final thoughts here before we go?
No, not a whole lot. I just want to say thank you, Neil, for having me on the show here. And again, all the work you've put into this over the last, when have you guys started? 6-7 years ago, and starting to plan the first camp. So that a lot of work has been done by you and a lot of other people and all of our sponsors. We really appreciate those. And no, I'm definitely excited for this camp and future camps down the road. As I said earlier, it doesn't feel like this camp is less than a week away, but it does at the same time. So I'm definitely excited. Got to get to packing here, and it's going to be a fun one, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, you mentioned packing. I haven't started packing my stuff yet, but Julie took the SUV to Costco today and totally filled it up with drinks and food and all that. So I got to take that up to the museum tomorrow, as we're recording this on Monday. And then I have like a dining room full of boxes of soldering irons and flags and cookie sheets and everything. So PVC pipe and yeah, it's a bunch of stuff. So we've got a lot of packing to do. But Adam mentioned our sponsors. We already mentioned ICOM. They're going even above and beyond last year with what they're providing. So we're looking forward to all the ICOM equipment that we'll be using. We also want to give a big thanks to ARDC, Amateur Radio Digital Communications, for a grant from them to make this all possible, as well as DX Engineering and the Worldwide Radio Operators Foundation. Those are our 4 titanium sponsors, which means it's $10,000 or more that they've given either in equipment or in funding to make this camp happen. And so we couldn't do it without our sponsors. And then also our silver level sponsors, Heil Sound sent me a case full of Pro 7s. And so we're looking forward to having those this year to kind of cut down on some of the noise we were getting, because we were all crammed into that shack. So that should be a whole lot better this year. The Dayton Amateur Radio Association is helping us out again. Xtronic USA provided our soldering irons, so we have 30 temperature-controlled soldering stations for everybody. And, of course, R&L Electronics. R&L opens the door and says, take whatever you need. If it's still good, bring it back. And I did. I loaded up a bunch of stuff last week from R&L. So thanks to R&L for doing that. And then also our bronze sponsors, Radio Club of America Youth Activities and SWODEXA. That's the Southwest Ohio DX Association. So thanks to all of those sponsors, and thanks to the individuals who bought stuff on our Amazon charity list or just gave us a donation, some of them through podcasts and other things, but it all adds up, and it makes this affordable, and it makes this a great experience to keep ham radio going into centuries to come. So we want to definitely thank all of them. Well, Adam, it's been great, but we have important things to do. We need to get our cheese curd order ready to go. So I'll say 7-3 for now, and I'll be picking you up at the airport soon.
7-3 sounds good. I look forward to seeing you this Saturday.
And that is a wrap for this edition of Ham Talk Live. I'd like to thank my guest, Adam Johnson, KD9KIS, and everyone out there in cyberspace for listening, and invite you all back next time. We won't have a show next week because of the camp, but we'll be back soon. And you can check out all of our upcoming guests at hamtalklive.com. So for now, this is Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, saying 7-3, 7-5, and may the good DX be yours.
For 73, to you and your family,
I'll be seeing you further down below. Your 73s to you and your family. I'll be seeing you further down below. It's